Then, of course, there are other levels. There are actually 10 levels of spiritual consciousness. The very top is the Buddha. And then just underneath the Buddha is the Bodhisattva. And we just talked about them. Under there, that we have the wrathful, fierce-looking Myo-o. And they are essentially, they're translated as wisdom kings or mantra kings. But they are always surrounded with fire as a halo. And they're always holding terrible weapons. They usually have fangs, and they look fierce and wrathful. And they mostly appear in the mandala. Basically, they are messengers of Dainichi Buddha, the cosmic Buddha, the Sun Buddha. And they look fierce and menacing because they want to frighten and overcome evil. And they also want to frighten people into becoming faithful. Below them is one of the biggest classes of deities, and these are called the Tenbu. And the Ten, which is the Japanese character for heaven, the Tenbu can be translated as heavenly beings, celestial beings, or in America, we'd probably say angels. Now, this group of deities is very interesting. They originally were Hindu gods that were subdued and converted to Buddhism and then adopted into the Buddhist pantheon. And there's a lot of them. There's like Benzai Ten, Bishamon Ten, Daikoku Ten, Marishi Ten. Any deity whose last part of their name ends with a 10 tells you that they're part of this category. This category has both fierce and gentle deities. Two of the deities that you will probably see most often from the Tenbu group that are the Neo Guardians. There's two of them. There's a pair. They're a pair. One has its mouth open. One has its mouth closed. They nearly always stand guard outside the temple. They stand on the left and the right of the temple gate as you go into the temple. One with mouth open, one with mouth closed. They represent Alpha and Omega. They represent all polarity, up, down, black, white, male, female, birth, death. And very interesting is Agyo. His name is Agyo. See how fierce he looks? Agyo. This is representing birth, because when we are born, it's Wah! And when we die, this guy's name is Ungyo. His mouth is closed. That's the last sound that you hear. So they represent birth and death. However, more interestingly, the first sound in the Japanese syllabary is ah, and the very last sound in the Japanese syllabary is In Sanskrit, the very first sound in the Sanskrit syllabary is ah, and the very last syllable is That's why we have the holy word om. Because it's supposed to represent a to ah to So in Sanskrit, it's om. In Japan, it's om, isn't it? That's a question for you. In Japan, om. I think it's om. And in Sanskrit, it's But anyway, that's just a very interesting sidelight. I really like these two guys. Two of the greatest representations of these two are down in Nara at Todaiji. They were made by Unke. And if you ever in Nara, you definitely want to go to see these guys.